talked to C.J. Sudicello, I believe. I talked to the tax collector in Norwalk who doesn't use the boot, and I talked to a number of people, and they said there's a lot of problems that come up with this. But for right now, the tax collectors asked over and over again, and so you know, about 7 months ago, the city council bypassed me and said, hey, the tax collector entered this contract without the mayor's approval, and then our attorney said that's not, violates our city charter. So we've been going back and forth. A lot of the questions that you have asked, I have asked, and I have been writing. So if things don't work out, at least I have some sort of. But I want you to know the tax collector and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of issues.
What is the matter with the present policy that is been with us for forever, which is you pay up your property taxes at the time that you re-register your car? What is the matter with that? And why is the city taking on additional and expanding powers? That's what really worries me. You know,
well, listen, let me clear that up. We don't want to take up additional powers. I'm a big believer in leadership, on the right leadership, and if I had the right leadership, I wouldn't have instituted this boot program. And I don't mean in the mayor's office, I mean in the tax office. So let's take that off the table, you know. Not everybody, and I know you're going to find this hard to believe, pays their taxes, or not everybody every 2 years registers a vehicle. Sometimes they switch their name, sometimes they switch the car to somebody different, sometimes they do other things. You have to understand that. So a lot of this, yes, people after 2 years have to re-register the car and they're going to have to pay their taxes. But the percentages out there and the money that is out there, we're owed several $1 million in delinquent motor vehicle taxes. And I'm not naive enough to think we're going to collect $7 million. I'm hoping we collect $500,000, but it's still $500,000 that we can use.
But if they switch it over to Maine, you're not going to get them anyway because you have no jurisdiction over that.
Names, not Maine.
Oh, I thought you said Maine.
Yeah, I clarify. I'm sorry.
I thought you said Maine too.
Yeah, so let me clear. So I switch it from to so and so, and not everybody drives around in a legal car. So the license plate's there, and it's on an illegal car and it's booted, someone's responsible for it. So I think the majority of people are right. Some people just pay their taxes and that's it, and they pay them, right? Other people say, hey, my car needs to be registered a year from now. That's when I'll go pay it, right? Human nature.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. Other people don't. They find a way, and I know you find this hard to believe, to circumvent the system.
Right. Okay.
All right. So those people there, if you don't boot their car, you're not receiving that money.
But we're going to put the boot on people that aren't clever or trying to get over on the system.
I want to clear that up. I didn't say everybody's trying to get over on the system.
Right. No, but there are those that are.
Yeah, there are some that are. And I don't want to think everybody receives the boot. I'm saying I want to, because is trying to overcome the system. That's not the case. But there are some in any society, right? Any society, there are going to be some that
try to get over.
Right.
Yeah, it's a game. I know there's people out
there
like that.
I started by saying the majority of the people here, the majority of people in West Haven are good people. The vast majority, right? There are always some who are trying to say, hey, how do I get around the system? And I'm sure that's the case in any society, any country, anywhere we go.
Yeah, but the people that are going to get the boot, most of them are just going to be poor people that are down on their luck, that whatever, for one reason or another, fell behind on their.
And you could look at my face, and I sympathize with that, and I feel bad about that, but I don't know how to pick and choose there.
No, you're not going to get it all. You're not going to get all taxes. Like you say, people are going to opt out for one reason or another.
So we're going to try it. We're going to see how it works. There are a lot of people who say, hey, I pay my taxes, so why let somebody else, not pay their taxes? And I understand that frustration too. But I think almost everybody's sympathetic to these tough times where people are out of a job, or they, but not everybody's like that either. There are some people who can't afford to pay it, who choose not to. So we're trying the system in the essence of being fair to the tax collector. He's very adamant about this system. I said, I'm going to give it a chance. We've tried to clean it up. We sent delinquent bills out to everybody a month ago for a lot of reasons. One, to notify them, and two, to make sure that the people who owed delinquent taxes got the bill, and the people who didn't owe delinquent taxes that got a bill, I wanted to clean that up also. There were some people that came to my office and said, John, I keep getting this delinquent tax bill. I paid my taxes. And that's, on the other side, what I was really concerned about, because imagine your frustration if you owe taxes and your car receives the boot. Imagine how upset you're going to be if you don't owe any taxes and you can't. So there's a lot of things here. And I want to leave you with this, is that, my goal has never been to expand this government. If you look at what I've done in the last few years, actually to reduce it. I know you're going to argue with that because we have the boot. We've reduced it in a lot of areas. So my budget is actually less now than it was a few years ago.
I'll leave it at this. I think it's over-aggressive. I view it as expansive, and I think that it's frightening that on a local level now that we're to a time where we're taking something that's an infraction and almost, I would say, treating it like a crime by disabling these people's cars. You're treating an infraction like a crime by doing this, and I'm dead set against it. I hope that you'll reconsider this policy because
it's got 60 days, and doesn't mean every car is going to receive the boot. I respect your opinion. I enjoy conversation because some of the things I do, not only sympathetically agree with. I think the $175 is, percentage-wise, is high, depending on what you owe.
Well, most cars, what are we talking about? Most cars are behind.
Some owe $2,000, 3,000, some owe $200, 300, some owe $50.
So a guy with $200 could have a $175.
Very sympathetic. Yeah, some with $70 do. I got a call from a friend of mine who said, John, I owe $70, but then he said I do owe the $70. I do know I should have paid it, and I didn't. He still wasn't happy. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing how that name got picked
but
first.
Don't these guys seem like bounty hunters? See, doesn't that smack just of something ugly? It's icky. It's got an ick factor.
I'm not going to get into the verbiage that you use, but
it's got
a program we're trying. We are collecting revenue. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Listen, I'm hopeful that people will realize, hey, we need to receive these taxes. We need you to pay. It's not an easy time for the cities either. I mean, you're talking about people too. I've been operating with deficits since I've been in office. So it's not like I don't know how every day you got to watch your cash, and every day you want to. It's not easy, There's other towns and there's other, municipalities that have surpluses. When they have problems, they can go back to. We don't have that, So,
if I may, Your Honor,
yes,
I know, Bill. Over the past year of knowing each other, we agree on a whole lot. We've been through the trenches with, Republican stuff. Nothing. Republican thing you wouldn't understand.
Anyway, I'm more conservative than most Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah,
you know that. So go ahead.
But this one, I mean, I've been a supporter of the boot for quite some time, ever since I learned about it in New Haven. But like I've said to the city council, maybe a year ago, after they first got in office, I said, as long as it's an equal opportunity booting. Equal opportunity booting meaning that the tax collector who is elected does not go after people who were adversaries of him and supporting someone else or someone on a different ticket or whatever, right? Because we're pretty well known for that in this town. And that's what's really what's destroying us. So that, I'm also concerned about the time of notification people get. If they get 3-4 notices, sorry, this is going to happen, I've got no sympathy for them at all. If they haven't called up the tax collector's office to make arrangements or come by or whatever the case is. That I am concerned about the fee, but that's what the company charges, and that's just all there is to it. Something that can be done about unless you and Frank negotiate or whatever.
I heard that New Haven. I talked to an alderman in New Haven. He says, well, we have a program and we're charging $50.
Right. They paid an upfront fee. That's why.
Yeah, New Haven could probably do that.
Right.
You can say they've had it for a long time.
You got to get the revenue. The boot, the company that operates the boot has to get the revenue somehow. So so they have to get the upfront fee, or which we did not provide, and it was a $10,000 upfront fee, or they do the $175 a boot. I've asked them what Steve said. Actually, Steve is accurate on a lot of fronts. I still think, even though he says if you've been notified 3 or 4 times, he's not sympathetic. I know Steve still is. He doesn't want to see people have to shell out money that they shouldn't have to.
City council offices are 2 doors down. So
would they give me a list over there?
No, I'll give it to you. Mrs. C, will you get the name of the city council members?
Yes. It's important. Those are important posts.
Oh, you're good. You're good. That was quick.
They can decide the fate of the unfortunate. Right?
Well, this is everybody.
And just about everything I ask the city council to do, they do the opposite.
Yeah.
The majority of them, not all.
They shouldn't be hidden. We should know who they are.
Yeah.
Just like all the way up the line, right to the White House, we don't know who they are, do they?
All right.
Oh, the buck stops here.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
This is city council?
That's the city council.
Oh,
this is actually every public official, or at least every elected public official in town.
Okay, that's great.
I think that's
Right.
what's...
And if you want...
When they have that, they have it.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm just showing him the...
Okay, great.
We can get you
So this is state government, this is federal government, and local government provided by the City of West Haven. Okay?
Grazie.
All right, I think that is